Okay, so this may actually end up being part of a series of videos. As you know, I have more than one car, and the problem with having more than one car is finding the time to drive the other cars. When you don't drive a car, what ends up happening is it sits there and its oil starts to collect at the bottom of the engine, and the battery is most likely going to start to lose its charge. And because these cars have lead acid batteries, they typically lose their charge. It can be a period of a month. It can be a period of weeks. It all depends on the size of the battery, and it depends how, strong the battery itself is. I was sent this product. This is the LOKITHOR JP400. They call this the world's most compact jump starter with air compressor. Now, here's the thing. I could have asked LokiThor to give me one of these devices that didn't have the air compressor, but I asked him to go ahead and give me the one that had the air compressor. And the reason why is because this small package is much smaller than my Syntec battery jumper. My Syntec battery jumper is your typical lead acid battery. It has a built-in air compressor. It weighs twice, maybe even 3 times what the LokiThor weighs right here. So the LokiThor, it's a 12-volt lithium battery. It has reverse polarity protection to make sure you don't accidentally try to jump the car the wrong way, which is a great thing because that actually happened to me one time. Very quick story. I had a friend. He had a Chrysler 300C, and he asked me to come and help him jumpstart his car. So I had a Chrysler 300 SRT at the time. I help him jumpstart his car, and sure enough, when his car is jump-started, he accidentally, and I'm pretty sure it was an accident. He didn't understand what you're not supposed to do when you jump a car. But he touched the black cable to the red cable, and sure enough, it shut my car down. So his car got started, my car got shut down. And basically, I think they had to replace a fuse or something, or they had to go into the computer and they had to, do something in order to get the system to work again. It didn't do any lasting damage from what I remember, but it killed my car that night. So anyway, it says it has 2,500 amp peak, 8.5 liter gas engines, or at least it'll work up to, say, an 8.5 liter gas engine or a 6.5 liter diesel. So this is basically a lithium battery that is able to produce enough crank power in order to start a car battery when you need that car battery started. So I'm absolutely going to be testing this over maybe a period of a couple of months. So this is not the only video I'm going to make about this product because my issues with dealing with my Jeep, my issues are ongoing. So I'm not just going to make just one video. Definitely not. I'm going to make a series of videos. So as for unboxing, so here you go. You got this LokiThor, what is it called? A manual. And then you have the product itself. And this is the product. It's not very big. It's actually quite small. And I'm pretty sure in here you get some connector cables. So you get your jumper cables right there. What does it come with? Air compressor tools for filling up your tires. And it comes with your red jumper cable. The plastic around this cable is, it's hard plastic. It kind of feels a little, it could have been higher grade plastic, but it should get the job done. After all, this is something you're going to use sparingly anyway. You're not supposed to have to use this over and over. So you got the black cable right here. Very nice. It connects to the system using this plug right here. This plug has a reverse polarity setup so that you can't plug it in the wrong way. Okay, that's very nice. Then in here in the box, we have the air compressor connector. And right here, you have the USB-C connector. So the beautiful thing about this, and this is something that I complained about when I was talking about my laptop right here, my gaming laptop. The thing about USB-C is now, because of the European Union, they've basically put USB-C on everything. And the beautiful thing about USB-C is it's very easy to find one of these, and it's very, very easy to be able to recharge even a device like this. So that's fun. That's fantastic. So right there is where you plug in the air compressor. Right here is the output, the 12-volt output. So this is, it's basically designed so that this is compact. So on top of that, they give you a little carrying pouch, which is perfect because I can put that right in my Jeep. It's much, much smaller than my old battery charger. It's easier. See, the thing about it is this device is like maybe 4 times the size of your typical Galaxy Android cell phone. I can easily keep this device. Around. And the beautiful thing is, if you're driving the car, while you're driving the car, you can actually recharge it because it uses USB-C. So if I were to plug this in my back seat, I'd be able to recharge this. Also, if you needed to take this to work and you wanted to just simply plug this in, all you'd have to do is plug it into USB-C, and you could plug it into anywhere. You could plug it into your office computer or whatever, and you're basically good at the end of the day, because for the time it takes to charge it, you're ready quicker. Lithium-ion batteries are basically being put in everything. And the thing about it is, as time goes on, lithium-ion batteries are getting smaller and less expensive, and they're getting more powerful. They're all, I was listening to them. They were talking about faster charging lithium-ion batteries for electric cars. I believe they called them sodium-ion batteries. And obviously, they also have solid-state batteries coming. So over time, these pieces of technology, especially things like, to be used on older vehicles, these things are getting cheaper and cheaper, and they're getting more and more efficient. So right here, you can, because it's a lithium-ion battery, I'm pretty sure it ships ready to use. So you can push that right there, and it turns on. It's got a nice power display right there. So what does it say? It says right now it's 000 PSI. If I wanted to plug the tire inflator in, you could just tell it to push pump. And the pump is on. It's at 0.2 PSI. Okay. So the pump is on. I can turn it off right here. If you want to turn up the pressure or turn down the pressure, that's what that's for right there. I'm going to turn that off right there. The pump is now off. There's a light, I believe, right there. So that's a nice work light to keep you safe at night when you're trying to pump your car. And a lot of people forget that you have to use work lights, because otherwise, when you're trying to pump your car on the side of the road, somebody might hit you and they don't even realize that you're there. They don't see what you're doing. So this is actually very, very compact. It's obviously not very heavy. It's very compact. It's actually it's a nice device. Very nice device. So you have different modes right there. You're talking about bike mode. So you have a bike mode PSI. You have a basketball pump. That's the symbol for the basketball pump. So you can have high PSI or low PSI. You can also change the setting from PSI to bar. So instead of pounds per square inch, you're doing it in air pressure in bar. Barometric. Let's see. Other than that, let's take it out of pump mode. Okay, so yeah, it's in pump mode. As far as the connectors for the 12 volt, so you have here, as you can see, there's a cover for the 12 volt, and there's also a cover for the USB Type-C, so water doesn't get into it. Now, this is interesting. It says USB and Type-C. So what they did, and this is brilliant, what they did was they made it so that you can plug in the USB-C side, or you can plug in the USB-A side. So that means that this one cable is able to charge this device either way. That's actually really, really brilliant. That's actually genius. That's really genius. So this way, it's very hard to get stuck without the ability to charge your car. So right here, you got these 2 connectors. Just slide that right in there. It only goes in, from what I can see, it only goes in one way because of the reverse polarity design. It only goes in one way. So there's no way to really mess that up. And right there, you have your full charging device. That's to jumpstart your car. Now, I absolutely am happy about having this for the very simple reason. Today, I actually was driving my Jeep around, and sure enough, I stopped and I had dinner with family. And sure enough, when I was leaving, my battery didn't want to jumpstart the car. And it was crazy because it was saying that there was low voltage, and the car was at the battery was at like 13 volts, but I guess it must have dropped under 13 volts. And it was saying it didn't want to start the car. So what I did was I pulled out my Syntec battery jumper, which I carry around regularly. And the Syntec battery jumper was able to easily jumpstart the car right away. And, you know, that kind of keeps me on my toes and it makes me worry. It's like, yeah, I have to make sure that I have some type of jumping device at any given time in that car. So I have a battery charger at home. I've got the Syntec jumper with the air pump. And now I have this LOKITHOR. Because of the way they package this, where they give you a little bag and everything, this is definitely going to be the one that I keep charged and I take with me so that at any given point, I can easily jumpstart my car just in case it goes off. Not only that, what if, you know, if there's a stranger, because that's happened to me sometimes, like sometimes you're around strangers and they're, oh, sir, do you have any jumper cables? Well, when you have something like this, you can be a lifesaver, you know, to somebody who needs their car jumped. And now I carry my own jumper cables and I don't even need to jump it from the car. Now, you know, you can use this. Typically, these things are able to provide just enough power to be able to crank these engines. And this one is able to handle diesel trucks. You know, that's cool. So this is definitely the kind of device that you want to have with you, just in case you run into a situation where you have to jump your car or jump somebody else's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in. I'm going to charge this to 100%. And maybe what I'll do is I'll end up testing it on my car, because for some reason, unless I charge that battery again, I don't think that battery is going to be able to jumpstart the car by itself. But I'm definitely going to, you know, put this onto the car and show you, you know, the basics of how it works. But basically, it's really simple. All you do is basically turn it on and you just connect the cables and that's it. And you basically wait a couple of seconds or at least a minute or two while it tries to build the charge back up in the battery. And then you just hit the ignition and you're ready to go. In the interest of being as informative as possible, this right here is a 100-watt GaN charger, gallium nitride, and it's made by Kotek. There are newer ones. You've probably been bombarded with advertisements from Anker, and Anker makes a lot of these 100-watt and 65-watt chargers. Specifically, these things are being used for people who have Apple MacBooks or have fast-charging smartphones. As far as I know, the iPhone 16, for example, it doesn't charge up to 100 watts. Like Apple limits the amount of power that can be forced into their phones because they don't want you burning the phone out, right? So for the most part, having 100-watt GaN chargers around, those are things that I like to take with me when I travel, right? So I have two of those. And I have right here, I have a USB-C cable that has a voltmeter on it. So just to show you, this is how I'm charging my brand new LokiThor. And there's a voltmeter right here, so you can see this clearly. So it says, so this will allow me to charge at up to 100 watts. As you can see, the voltmeter says 3, 4 watts, 5 watts, 6 watts. I don't know how high this LokiThor will accept its power, but it's up to 7 watts. So yeah, this again, you know, see, that's the thing. This is a 100-watt charger. If you have like a gaming laptop or something like this is perfect. I would say that if you buy any of these chargers that you plan on keeping for a long time, you get a 100-watt charger. Even if you could deal with just a 65 or something smaller or 47, I wouldn't do that. I'd get a 100-watt charger. And the reason why is because they usually come with 2 ports. You get 2 USB-C ports. 2 USB-C ports allows you to charge more than one device at the same time. So if you go on vacation, it really comes in handy. So as you can see, we're up to 12 watts. And right now I am going to fill the LokiThor to its full capacity. It has a protector switch in there so you can't overcharge it, which is perfect. We're up to 13 watts. So it looks like it's settling around 12 and 13 watts. The charging speed doesn't really matter. The point is you want to get it nice and charged up so that this way, from a full position, you're able to use it. I read the instructions. They said when you connect this device to your car, it will recognize that it's connected properly. And then there's a countdown timer that will begin, and it'll do a 10-second countdown. After the 10 seconds is over, that's when you're allowed to crank start the car by pushing the ignition button. So, so far so good. I like what I'm seeing. This is a fabulous device. It's not relatively vastly different than the Syntec charger that I have. It's just that it's more compact. The only thing about it is the Syntec charger has little pockets where you can actually put your, connectors and stuff like this. But I'm just going to drop everything in the little bag. And I actually have like a little black Tesla baggie, but I have like baggies that are bigger than the one that they give you for the accessories. So I'm going to put this entire thing in like a baggie. I'm just going to keep it in the car. But this cable right here, this USB-C cable, I'll just put this to the side because I have other USB-C cables that I can use. So I'll probably put this in the accessory bag when I put everything away together. So that'll work out just fine. But yeah, it looks like it settles at about 12 watts. So 12 to 13 watts is more than fine enough. It'll be full probably within the hour. And, I'll run it out to the car when I want to start the car, if I want to move the car, and we'll give it a run. So we're at 15.0 watts, and we're gonna fill it up to 100%. And again, something like this, if you have older cars, this is something you definitely want to have with you. Okay, so I left this battery on overnight trying to charge it and to test it and make sure it was okay. When the cycle ended, green light comes on and it went into maintenance mode. Maintenance is basically just that it's trickle charging, but at this point it's no longer charging anymore. So at this point, if I really wanted, I could use the battery tester and I can test it to see how well is it holding a charge and whether or not the battery tester detects that it has a bad cell. So that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, so we've got the Ancel battery tester. So now we can find out what's going on inside this battery. So the tester will tell us whether or not there's a problem with the battery or whether everything's going fine. So basically, just connect that red terminal, connect that black terminal. So we do a quick test. Batteries in vehicle, batteries out of vehicle. Enter. Regular flooded AGM flat plate. This is a regular flooded. What is this? GB AGM type. Oh, CCA. What is this? CCA 500 CCA. No, this is a 700 CCA. So run that up. All right, so let's see, 700 CCA. Enter testing. Just let her test. Good battery, interesting, healthy battery, charge 83%. So if you remember the last video I made using the Ancel tester, I can't remember what the charge was then, but it's definitely, I fully charged this battery and it was in maintenance mode. 3.48 milliohms and 842 CCA. I've seen some people test these batteries and they go all out. Like they open it up and they go in there and look at the acid and the electrolytes. I'm not doing none of that. The simple fact is I did recharge this battery. The new battery that I got may not have the same output as this battery, but for the time being, it will get the job done. I just need the Jeep to be runnable at any given time. So that's basically the Ancel battery tester once again. And then you got the Syntec battery charger and the Syntec Jump Starter. So between these three devices, can't go wrong. But I have to say, the Ancel is great to have, especially if you do this regularly. And then there's the Syntec. This can actually do the same job as the Ancel. It can help you by telling you whether or not there's a problem with the battery. And it automatically skips into maintenance mode when it finishes the charge, so it won't overcharge your battery, which is wonderful. Got the Jeep out here for a maintenance drive. So basically just just driving it, making sure the oil moves around, make sure the battery moves around. What's up with this lady? She got the Lexus. Yeah, all of these cars look alike. That's the thing. Fuck you, you cocksucker. You just put your finger up, you bitch. You lucky I don't drive over that fuck. Guy put his finger up because I was too close to him. I got to get out of that lane so the Lexus can get in there. I can't believe that guy put, but anyway, whatever. He might not have, yeah, whatever. I don't even care. It's okay. Because, see, the guy, it's funny. People stick up their finger and stuff, but, they don't know about the Desert Eagle, if you know what I'm saying. But anyway, that's okay. It's better to just stay calm. Hey, look at that later. It's better to just stay calm and, not react, not overreact. Because, the last thing you want is, to have to spend $3.50 per round dealing with somebody. But that's okay. Nope. It's better to just stay calm. Just stay calm. So, what's this? What's this guy? That's an old ass. What is that? A Grand Marquis or a Lincoln? Yeah, oh man, that thing's old. Look at this guy with this Volkswagen. Yeah. All these cars look alike. I guess that's one of the things Chrysler had going for it. It's like their cars just didn't look like everybody else's cars. Unfortunately, it's too bad they've killed that company. Like now I'm hearing these YouTube talking heads talking about Stellantis bringing back the V8. But the thing about it is the Hemi V8 and the Hellcat, that's what people want. After you showed us that Hellcat, you can't go back. There's no going back. But the problem is that Hellcat, it's a very, very expensive vehicle for a number of reasons. It's like you got the brake changes are more expensive. You're talking about $2,000 to change the front rotors. I mean, that's not a cheap vehicle. You got the oil changes are more expensive. A lot of the people, like I've noticed, I haven't seen many of those things on the road, and it makes sense because a lot of people really couldn't afford them. A lot of people bought those things in 2020, 2021, 2022, and some in 2023, but by then they were really, really seriously overpriced. But the thing about it is those things are maintenance nightmares. At least with these electric vehicles, you got to worry about tires, but that's about it. It's like the rest of the car, as long as you have what is it called, a warranty, you're good. This guy got the hyperscreen. Oh, he got the hyperscreen. Good man. He got the hyperscreen. Because see, sometimes I see these people and they have these cars and they don't have the hyperscreen, and I get very disappointed with them. I'm like, you cheap son of a bitch, you should have had the hyperscreen. Me personally, I would have bought the EQS, but it was too small. Like, getting in and out of that thing was just too small. It was like the S-Class is the appropriate size for me. But the EQS, they made the front narrow. The back is okay, but the front is it was just too small for me. And then the ceiling height is low. So I actually really prefer my Cadillac. I actually really, really like my Cadillac. In fact, I have an aunt, and she has this exact car. She has the EQS 580, and she also has the hyperscreen in it. I haven't seen her in a while. Like during Christmas holidays, maybe I'll visit her. Maybe I'll do a video on her car. And as you've also seen, I have another aunt, and she has the, what is it called? The Mercedes GLE, brand new GLE. But they haven't updated the GLE's interior to make it more like, the S-Class or the Mercedes EQS. They haven't updated it with that center tablet screen yet. It has like I did a video a while back. It has that Mercedes voice computer, but it doesn't have the center screen. And then I made a video of one of my uncles. He has the Mercedes S-Class in green, and he has the white interior. And they're very nice cars. The thing that bothers me, though, is that it was like the W222, I actually like the interior layout more because I like the wide screens. I don't like vertical screens. I think some people know what I'm talking about. Like when they get into a Tesla and you see that big vertical, some people don't like that. And I know they changed it to make it wider because I think a lot of people complain. They were like, yeah, why can't I switch the orientation? But Mercedes went whole hog and they say, yeah, well, we're just going to put it in vertical and that's it. But who knows? When they make the new S-Class and they put that hyper screen in it, I think I could consider buying one of those, especially if it's an electric vehicle. But it has to be spacious, because I am a big guy. You know, it has to be spacious. And most people would argue, it's like, yeah, you should just buy a truck. You know, and I have been looking at some of these trucks, but the only one that has the styling that I really like is the Chevy Silverado. Now, if Cadillac made the EXT and built that based on that GMC Sierra EV, that I'd consider getting. Because, see, when you have a truck, there's a lot of shit you could do with a truck. Now, I almost think I would probably keep my Lyric, you know, because the payoff for the Lyric after the lease ends is about $30,000 or something like that. So, you know, depending upon what the interest rates are, it's like I could probably finance it real low, or I could just pay it off in cash. But most people wouldn't do that, because most people don't want to own an electric vehicle. Most people would rather finance it or lease it. They don't want to really keep the damn thing. Oh, this guy's a doctor. I didn't even see his license plate till just now. That guy's an MD. Good for you. It's like I should get your license. I should get your what is it called? Your business card, because I might have something I need looked at. You know, that guy's a doctor. Good for him. I love doctors. I love doctors. I have nothing but respect for doctors. I never talk bad about doctors. I love doctors. Those people change the world. Those people make the world a better place. I love doctors. Doctors, teachers, and pilots. Love those guys. Those are my favorite people in the whole world. Let's see. Yeah, and it's kind of weird. I charged this car. I'm probably going to put this car on my charger tonight, because this battery saver light continues to be on. And I know even if it's off, if I switch this car into sport mode, as soon as I switch it into sport mode, the battery light comes on. Now, I don't know if that's just a problem code that maybe, you know, just has to be cleared or whatever. But whatever. It's not a big deal, but it's a little bit annoying. It's a nice day out here. It looks like it's cool and dry. I don't think we're going to have any rain. Or at least I hope we don't have any rain. It's a very nice day. Unfortunately, somebody who was on a donor cycle, I don't know why I say motorcycle, somebody who was riding a donor cycle just decided to donate their organs and such to the public need. So let's let this be a lesson. It's like, don't ride motorcycles. They are highly dangerous. And if you do, you will be donating your organs, your bones, because, you know, they do take bones now, because some people do need, like, femurs and stuff. You'll be donating all your organs to the, you know, the hospitals, because they need them. So if I were you, stay away from these freaking motorcycles. Do not ride them. They will kill you. The probability of you dying is, like, so high. And yeah, that's what it is. It's like motorcycles were actually a scam, and they were invented by you know, people who were trying to get organ donations. So please, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Yeah, especially when you're in a, you know, a densely packed, populated city. So looky right here. Look at what we got. We got the Cybertruck. They're leasing these things at what is it? If you want a Cyber Beast, it's like $1,075 a month, and you can lease one for that much. It's like, it's amazing, these freaking ridiculous things. But I wonder if Tesla will get smart and they'll say, hey, I have an idea. Let's make a regular looking motherfucking truck, just like the Sierra EV or the Chevy Avalanche. But something tells me they ain't gonna do that. There's a level of arrogance at Tesla that will not allow them to do that. You could say it's Elon Musk arrogance. You could say whatever it is. It's like, they're not going to do that shit. They're not. They're just not. They're too arrogant for that. But the thing about it is, rather than let these things pile up unpurchased, what they're going to start doing is getting aggressively leased, because that's what Tesla does. Tesla, when they have something pile up, all of a sudden they get really, really aggressive leasing on them. You know, that's what they do. So it's just like with the Model 3. When those things start piling up, what do? We got 2% financing. You know, which is not that bad, especially if you're one of those people who doesn't like to lease and you actually want to buy, but that's pretty, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so once the system is finished charging, the power lights stop blinking, and now you have an absolute full charge and you're ready to jump start the car, or you're ready to put this in your car and prepare to jump start your car in the future when you need to. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We are going to demonstrate very quickly the jump start process. It's a little dark here, but fortunately we have a light in the LokiThor. So the light allows you to, once you push it, it turns on, and you push the light button, boom, now you got a light so you can see what you're doing. So that's a ingenious little addition. So we uncover our positive terminal and clip that on there. So that's the positive terminal. So this little bit of work light is great. It really helps. Then we find a ground position. So I have a ground position right here. So you imagine if it's a rainy night and you ain't got a light, well, now you got a light. Got a USB-C light. You got a little light right there. Okay, so the system is connected. Okay, let's just turn this way so you can see it. Yeah, okay. So the clamps are in position. So now it has detected that there is a car. All right, so we go to mode. Okay, so we don't want it in the mode for pumping. So what we have to do, push power button, turn it off, we'll turn it back on. Okay. All right, there are numerous indicator lights on this thing. So just in case you can't see too well, just turn it up right there. All right, I'm not going to obviously pump the tires up or anything. So basically, it's ready to go. So all you got to do now is go over to the car once it's in position and open her up, and you push down on the gas pedal, and you're cranked. You've got power. So that's pretty simple. See, as you can see, my battery voltage is saying that it's at 12. Battery voltage is low, battery voltage is at 12. So ultimately, that's really the issue. The issue is running it long enough to keep up the battery power, so that this way, because this is a new battery, and the thing about it is I still don't drive this car a whole lot. So the thing about it is you let it run, you drive it, and that will build up the battery power. So this isn't the only video that I'm gonna do with this LokiThor. I plan on making more than one video. I'll probably, if the battery dies again, I'll make another video just to as a short, basically, you know, just to show how it's used and everything. But that's the battery saver mode. That's how it works. It's very simple. So after this thing runs long enough, then it'll build back up enough power in the battery, and then you're on your way. But one of these devices is fantastic because in the event of an emergency, it can save you. You know, it can really help you get you back home, make it so that you don't get stranded. It's always important to keep one of these devices on you. So that's all for now. Perhaps I'll make another video in the near future, probably next weekend. So far, so good.
To be continued.